Hello, family. So happy to be here with you today so that we could co-create together and take this into the highest realms for guidance for all, for what's wanting to come through at this time. I had this urge today to jump on to make an energy update. I haven't really done an energy update in a long time because I haven't really been feeling them, to be honest. But today I felt like this push. It was wanting me to come on here and just give some information about some of the things that I'm seeing and experiencing for myself, as well as something that has been making its way around social media. And I just wanted to give some light to it to help clarify, because I've had so many of you reaching out to me, asking me for my input on that Schumann Report that came out about a week or a week and a half ago. Everybody has been passing it around, saying that it is a representation of the crystalline DNA and the diamond DNA infrastructure and all kinds of things, because the report supposedly looks that way, right? And so, I had seen it first on Twitter, and my higher self, higher realm was like, nope, it's a glitch. There's something not right with that report. Just bypass it and keep going, because I really haven't been tuned to the Schumann in a long time, probably years. And so I stopped following it because I realized, as I was tuning to the frequencies and bringing myself higher, the report wasn't feeling accurate to me anymore. And so I stopped tuning to it, and I really haven't been paying much attention to it. I know that it's been reported that the Schumann is reporting blackouts and that it's registering the super high frequencies. But I guess that's a timeline too, like everything else, and we could follow that timeline, and we can take that information that's given and use it for our spiritual evolution, our conscious awakening, right? Just like anything else, we can use it. We can sit in that timeline and we can focus on the report and what it might mean and all of that sort of stuff. Or we could kick it up a notch, and we could really tune in at the heart center and be our own barometer for what is, as we are tuning to these higher frequencies and codes that are coming in, because that's really where we should be pointed. That's the timeline I'd like to see everybody on with me. So what was interesting was when it first came out, I had two people reach out to me and asked me about it, and I shot them back an answer immediately that said, in my humble opinion, it's not accurate. It must have been a glitch, or it was doctored, or something is not right with it. It just feels not right. And my team was saying, no, don't pay attention to it. It's a distraction. It's going to pull you away from tuning in. It's going to pull you away from using your internal barometer to continue to check on what is, okay? Because from my perspective, and I can only give you my perspective, and if it doesn't resonate with you, that's okay, right? I don't expect everything to resonate with you, but I'm merely giving you what is coming through for me in my highest state of consciousness. But my internal barometer told me years ago that the Schumann basically had stopped being able to calculate the planetary resonance, because it's so high now. It's it's kind of out of the stratosphere that it just can't. And so the interesting thing was, right after I had responded to those individuals, I had seen a post from somebody who contacted the observatory. It's I hope I don't say it wrong, Tomsk observatory in Russia, that created or generated that report, and asked them about it. And it was one of my peeps on Twitter, and they basically said the observatory made a statement and said that their equipment had been offline for many days at that point, where that report was taken out of context and shared as, whatever it was interpreted to be. And again, no, not judging anybody, because again, it's a timeline depending on how you want to play your reality and you want to play your ascension role and walk your path, right? Everything is a timeline. So again, there's no wrong in any of it. If that's where you're choosing to go, that's perfectly fine. You can use it as your barometer if you need to do that. That's perfectly fine. Give yourself the permission slip to do that and be okay with it. But I'm sharing this because I've had so many people ask me that I can't respond to everybody in a written response. And so when I checked back, the Tomsk Observatory had indeed made the statement and said they are, saying that that report is not correct. It's not accurate. Their machine was offline. It was a glitch. And in no way, shape, or form is it legitimate. And their next statement was that they were disappointed with the fact that the report was being shared in the context that it was, because it wasn't accurate, and they are wanting to be known for the accuracy of their reports. And well, we can understand that, right? But they were very disappointed, and so now you are not allowed to post any of their Schumann reports. They will, I guess, hit you with copyright infringement. So if you're posting the report to your page or anything like that, they can flag you and you can get in some kind of trouble for it. I'm not sure what kind, but they are making a case about it because they, I guess, felt embarrassed by the fact that that report, which was inaccurate, went out there in the way that it did. Now, again, it's a time, everything's a timeline. So you choose what timeline you want to point to, and then point to that timeline so that you can do your ascension process. I'm merely pointing out that in my reality, that was not an accurate report. It was something that, was, I guess, published by many as something that was accurate. For me, I will always point you in the direction of tuning in for yourself. Be your own gatekeeper. As a matter of fact, my community and I just had that discussion in our last class about being your own gatekeeper. Gatekeep your own information, which means tune into your heart center and do a breath check and say, is that report accurate? Or how am I feeling in these energies? These frequencies are so high. And so switching talking points now, let's talk about these frequencies, because they are high and they did cause that glitch to happen with the machine. And so it's the type of frequency that we are pushing beyond our limits to higher places within ourselves. I could tell you factually, okay, my third eye is lit every day. And it's to the point where, it'll open and sometimes it's scanning. I see my third eye going back and forth, like scanning the room, okay? And I'm having all of these visions and the colors are more vivid, and I'm seeing all kinds of like sacred geometry and everything. So I could tell you it's higher than it's ever been, because I'm experiencing that without any difficulty, without any efforting to meditating. But I will tell you that these frequencies, because they're so high and they are very plasma based, the plasma being very thick and viscous, is thicker than air and thinner than water, right? So it's somewhere between air and water. And I can tell you that because of its nature is making it very hard for a lot of people to breathe, because the plasma is thicker than air, okay? And so we have to remember that these frequencies are affecting our body in many different ways because we're in physical ascension. We have to take our body with us, because if we're not taking our body with us, we're exiting the earth plane, and that's it. We're either done with ascension or we're doing ascension someplace else on another planet, because this planet is not going to be able to facilitate that for us anymore. As the earth is changing, it's changing its logos, it's becoming its own sun, it's expanding its consciousness along with us and supporting us in the process as we evolve ourselves. Now, I can tell you that what I'm seeing and feeling coming in is head pressure, a lot of head pressure. Okay. Now, I've experienced some of it. I don't really experience that much anymore. There was a time back 2010 to maybe 2015 where I was getting head pressure and headaches and stuff, but I don't really experience that much anymore, except I can tell you these frequencies are so ridiculously high that I am experiencing some light head pressure, mostly in the third eye, and that third eye is just wanting to expand. It's like it's just doing its thing, right? I don't really even have to do much with it. It's just doing its thing. So we have to be aware of this. So the head pressure, the neck is just, incredibly challenging, right? Because the light codes enter in the occipital area. And I will tell you, mostly targeting that right side or the left side. Sometimes it's down the back, but mostly the right or the left. We've been activating new glands in our neck for years and years and years. I've written about them years and years ago. We're still activating them. Plus, we're activating the vagus nerve in our neck. And that nerve is I think the longest nerve in the body, goes all the way down to the groin area. And the vagus nerve is responsible for processing the light codes. So that's being impacted as well. And sometimes when the vagus nerve is activated, we might get extra lightheaded or extra dizzy and feel, out of sorts, like we're out of our body a little bit. So I always say, if you're feeling that way, bring yourself back into center with your breath work, right? Coming into your heart center, close your eyes, shut down, come into your heart center and just breathe into your heart. Take nice breaths in through your nose. And then as you expel the breath through your mouth, expel the breath longer than the breath in through the nose. Just make it a longer breath out and really just pay attention to the flow. And that will bring you back into center. Trust me, it's going to make you feel so much better. And for those of you that are looking for something more, check out down below in my info section, because I have my field spin meditation. It's really a transmission, but we could say it's a meditation down there. And it's going to help you restore the balance to your electromagnetic field. Okay, very important in these times. We have to have the tools, and we have to understand that we are responsible for the maintenance within our infrastructure in our body. Okay, so the head, the neck, the spine, you might feel achy all down your spine, throughout your back. You might notice that you do something minor and suddenly you have intense lower back pain. When the back is achy like that, and it's because of the codes, there's really nothing you're going to do for it. You can get a massage, you can stretch it out, you can do heat treatments, cold treatments, but it has to activate the codes and they have to integrate. And that's the only thing that's going to clear it up and make you feel better. Okay. So don't make yourself crazy, make yourself comfortable. Do the breath work, center yourself. The more you center, the better you're integrating those codes. Okay, very, very important. All right. Now, I'm going to tell you, many of you are going to be experiencing some new body issues. Okay, I'm hearing a lot of people struggling with different kinds of body issues that are coming up. The body is purging big time. It's purging generational imprints. It's purging any benign timeline information, any distortion that we've held, anything that is related to the lower 3D timeline. So we have to be very, very careful not to anchor into something that we're perceiving as a new health issue. Anchor it in, claim it, do not claim it, acknowledge it, and then do the work to move through it. And that's really what it takes, okay? Because this time is requiring that we focus inside, we go within, we come to our center through balance and harmony. The sun is super, super strong. And if you're spending any time in it, the codes are getting activated in your field. And sometimes, you know, for some who are not really conscious of doing the work, or do a little work and then forget and fall off the wagon and then go unconscious and then come back and do a little more work, the sun is going to activate all those codes hanging out in your field that are just waiting to be activated. So imagine activating a whole bazillion of the codes, and then you've got to integrate all of those. It might take you offline. Okay. So if you feel, you know, like you're catching a cold, a little achy, whatever, remember, flu is a thing. Flu, frequency light, upgrades, it's really a thing. It takes you offline a day, maybe a couple of hours, maybe 2 days tops, but that's because your body needs to shut down, needs to do the integration process of what you're feeling and everything that your body is going through in its transformation. Okay, it's very important. I can tell you that these energies, these frequencies are so high that we are creating our reality real time. It's amazing for me to see, because today I had to go to the bank. And on my way to the bank, I envisioned the parking spot that I wanted to park in, because the parking lot's like literally a nightmare. I hate it. And I really wanted to just make sure I got in and I got out. I visualized there not being anybody in the bank, and the teller was able to take me right away. And don't you know, when I got there, the spot that I visualized being open was open. And when I walked into the bank, there was nobody in there. The teller was waiting just for me and said, "Can I help you?" And so I went right up. It was 1, 2, 3, in and out, so easy. And we are just creating that reality. But if we go and we're not in the right mindset, and we're going to wherever we're going, whether it's a bank or any place else, and we're going and we're holding frustration or anger or resentment, any kind of distortion, or we're just like tired and frustrated, right? We're going to create that in our reality, and that's going to be our experience. So be very mindful of where your thoughts are, where your words are, because your thoughts are creating your words are creating your actions, and then your thoughts, your words, and your actions together are creating your emotions. And for 99% of the planet, the emotions are what's running the show, because it's triggered automatically. We're not even conscious of where our emotions are. So if you want to do the work, start paying attention to where your emotions are on a daily basis, so that you're not unconscious walking through life in an unconscious place until you get brought back into consciousness again. You don't want that. You want to be present for yourself. Okay. I'm seeing a huge shift with people desiring to heal now. Okay, people are beginning to realize that they are not the wounds they're carrying from generational imprints. They're not their parents' wounds. They're not their parents' stories, right? I heard growing up, I'm German and Hungarian, okay? And I heard from my father about the wars, the Russians, this, that, coming into Hungary, taking over his house and everything. And then from my grandparents on my mother's side, who was German, I heard about, you know, how it was hard for my grandparents when they were in Germany in the war, and they had to come here, and they didn't have anything, and they had to soak a hard roll in water in order to be able to fill their belly, because they had no food. And then, you know, growing up, it was the food pushing, like, make sure you clean all your plate, because there's people out there that are starving that don't have any food, right? That whole fear mechanism. And it took me years and years and years to break that, realizing I didn't have to carry the weight of the hunger in the world, because my grandparents suffered in the war that was their country, right? And so, but I never carried any of that. Even as a child, I heard the stories. listened as if they were stories, and I never carried any of it emotionally. What I did carry emotionally was the torture I was put through to make sure that I ate everything on my plate. Okay, that I carried with me because it was literal shaming. Well, if you don't eat that, there's people out there starving. You know, we were starving at one point, right? So, but that's not mine to carry. It's not mine to carry anymore. That was their story. I have my own story, right? I have my own story, and I'm here with all of you, and we don't need those stories anymore. We want to create our new stories. We want to create these positive, high-flying experiences. And we could say, yeah, but you know, life is really challenging. Life's really hard. Hey, you know what? I've been there. I've been there. I've had those challenging moments. I've had the hardship. I've walked away from, you know, 3 marriages because of Ascension, because of my Ascension work, and got 0 from it. I walked away with nothing. I didn't get a house. I had no money. But I did it. I got through. I figured it out, right? And now that's what I teach. And it's the work that I do. And it's how I'm able to assist and support other people in their transformation of themselves too. Did I enjoy going through it? No, I didn't. Just like nobody else enjoys going through it, but I did it, and I've learned so much from it that I don't look at it in a bad way. I look at it in a very positive way because it's made me much stronger. It's made me very aware. I'm in greater awareness than I've ever been in my life. Okay. As a matter of fact, I had a birthday Sunday. I have had 61 turns around the sun, right? I've gone around the sun 61 times, and I don't feel it. I don't feel it. I don't take it on. I don't think about it. I don't think about age. All I'm focused on is living my best life, doing my best. When I can be present and show up, I do. When I can't, I just can't. I've had long work days the last couple of weeks, so I haven't been on to make another video. But today I felt very pushed to come on here, and I wanted to come in and share with you guys and sit down here and say hello and see what's going on. Hopefully you'll drop me a comment and let me know how you're doing, because I'm doing good. I'm happy and I'm in flow, and that's where I want you to be. I want you to be happy, and I want you to be in flow, and I don't want you to have to suffer. I really don't. I want you to be able to feel the ease and the grace of what I feel as I go through these frequencies, okay? Which is why I try and share truth. I try to share as much as I possibly can about what you need to know going forward, because this is how we do it, right? So we have a lot of people out there waking up realizing they're not their wounds. We don't have to carry those wounds. We are not those stories. As a matter of fact, you're not even the story that you think you are, the story that you tell yourself. You know, I had cancer in 2000, and then it came back in 2004. I very rarely talk about it unless I have to talk to somebody about cancer, because I'm not that. That was a version of me that's not here right now. That version of me is probably on that timeline still dealing with the cancer thing, but that's not who I am now. I am in my wholeness, right? So I don't really talk about it because I don't really feel connected or aligned to it. To be honest with you, I moved into this house in October of 2022. And I have to tell you, I've been here since October, and I'm a few months away from making it a year here in this house, and I don't feel like I've ever lived anywhere else. I don't feel like I've ever lived anywhere else. I don't feel like I was ever married. I don't feel like I've ever been anywhere or done anything prior to living here. I don't feel it. It's not my field. I can't connect to it because I've cleared all of that out, right? That's a process that we go through, and we can go through that easily, letting ourselves go through these template upgrades or template wipes, or we can go through and we can go through kicking and screaming, right? It's completely up to us how we're gonna participate in the journey. And the work, there's so much work out there. I have so much content, especially over this last year, maybe year and a half, that is really going to help you move forward if you tune in and just go into the work and just pick a video, any video that is feeling like it might resonate with you, and watch that, right? It's way that the work works. And when I'm feeling like I'm not centered or balanced, I might go back to the work from my mentors years and years and years ago, and I might pull up a file and just listen to something, anything, because what am I doing? I'm getting the codes. I'm still getting codes, right? It's like the quantum field. I can listen to that in the quantum field, and it's going to sound different every time I listen to it, because the version of me listening to it is my next highest version. Okay, so it's going to have to sound different, and I'm going to get more information. It's going to sound even more amazing, right? When I listen to it, I want you to think that too. I want you to feel this. Okay. And if you don't know how, or you want to, I welcome you. Have a one-on-one session with me. We will bust through whatever you've got going on. And if you feel like a session isn't for you, but maybe you want to join the community that I have, become a member, come online and join the community. We meet 3 times a month, 3 times live, and it's not Patreon. You actually get to talk to me. It's not Patreon. We're on Zoom. You get to talk to me. You get to tell me what's going on with you, and then you get help from me. Okay, so if that speaks to you, come and do that. So back to the talking points. Realizing we're not our wounds, that's a big thing. It helps us move forward when we don't have to carry the weight or the burdens of our generations before us, from our parents and their parents before them. We're not any of that, right? We're here as a soul that is learning how to work our magic using our energy and the energy field that we're living in, right? Every day is a new opportunity. It's like, if I go back to what I said earlier with the Schumann Report, we can make believe that we have a viewfinder in front of us with the wheel with all different kinds of slides, right? Those little pictures in it. We can keep clicking the viewfinder. Oh, look, there's the one of the Schumann. Yeah, I don't want to participate in that reality today. Let me click the viewfinder and look at the next one. Oh, look at that reality. Yeah, that reality, that's tuned to maybe the government. Yeah, I'm not feeling that. Let me click the viewfinder again. Oh, look at that. Oh, that reality I kind of like. That one is talking about making magic and opening my third eye and being present for myself. Yeah, that one I really like. Let me tune deeper to that one, right? We get to choose. Everything is a timeline. And when we realize that, it just kicks it up a notch, or 10 or 20 or a bazillion for us, right? But when we forget how powerful we are, we're going to find life to be very challenging. Okay. So remember, you're not your generational imprints. You're not the wounds that your family has carried and handed down to you. Okay. You're not any of that. All right. You are more powerful than that. Do not let yourself play in the game of separation. Do not play into the separation. Even identifying yourself as only one thing, which is why you'll never see me identify myself anything other than where I am with my birth name, because this is my authentic state. This is how I came in. This is who I am in this present state of being. But if I said to you, well, going forward, I'm going to start identifying as Faith, right? My higher self, my 9th dimensional higher self. Then I'm not being authentic to Maria anymore, and I'm only being authentic to Faith. And what about Aluna? Aluna is my 5th dimensional higher self. Then I'm not recognizing Aluna, and now I'm playing the game of separation. I'm presenting as Faith, but I'm not acknowledging Maria. I'm not acknowledging Aluna. But as Maria, as me, Aluna and Faith are all part of me. So as me, as my present state of being, I give acknowledgement to all facets of me, right? So we want to make sure we're not playing in that game of separation. That is definitely a timeline we don't want to be on. If you have to play for a little while, okay, but then at some point shift and come into your more authentic state, right? We want to operate from the place of authenticity, from integrity, from transparency. It's very, very important that we're operating from those 3 aspects within ourselves. And you can check back. I think my last video, I talked a little bit about that, excuse me. And it's very important to have that as our awareness, okay? So it's okay to let go and heal, because when we do, we let go and we heal, we can step into even more of our presence, more of our authentic state of being. Okay. And then we can have fun with these energies that are coming in. Last night I was trying to fall asleep, and I've not been getting much sleep lately. Hardly any sleep at all, but I was trying to fall asleep last night, and I kept feeling like my foot was disappearing, and I would like wave my toes just to make sure, but I kept feeling it literally like falling into another dimensional reality. It was the most incredible, bizarre, I don't know what to call it, right? Different kind of thing that I could ever. So yeah, this is what's happening. But the higher we go, the more we're going to feel our multidimensional self and have these very interdimensional experiences that are able to be created by us by being in our presence. Okay. And so, you know, when your light body activates, you can feel it's a surge of energy that comes up, and then it feels sometimes like it goes nowhere. Okay, where is that going? Oh, that just felt like it kind of just ended suddenly and abruptly, right? But that's your light body activating. It's like, whoo, and it gets as high as it can go until, okay, that's it for now. And then you're like, that was it, you know, that was, what was that? So play with that when you feel those surges, right? Don't be afraid. Just let it, just have the experience. Everything is an experience for us to be had. Okay. And we are just in the most amazing of times. We have another shift. We're going through it the rest of this week into next week. Okay. All of next week's going to be a big gateway opening, massive heart openings as we're tuning more to ourselves as we go through this shift. Okay. And we're going to find that these frequencies that we're playing in, that we're living in, that we're experiencing are going to be shifting consistently all the way through equinox. We are setting up for the transition to the age of Aquarius in January 2024, at the end of January. Okay. So don't pay attention to anything on the outside. Go on the inside. Pay attention to how you're feeling. Pay attention to what is happening around you, because that's really a good indicator, a good barometer for where you are. Okay. Most importantly, but make time to tune in. Make time to tune in. Be your own gatekeeper. It is so important for you to go within and for you to be able to connect with the energies that are presenting with everything, so that you don't have to look to somebody else for their guidance of your journey. You want to look to yourself. You want to go within. Be your own guide. Okay. I love you so very much, and I am always here for you. Okay. I might disappear for a little while because the universe has got me pulled in all these different directions. I've got a lot of exciting things going on, but not anything I could talk about right now. But there's a lot of really good stuff that's taking place, right? For all of us, for all of us. But I'm always here. But you know, until something shifts and I don't need to pay my bills anymore, I still have to work. So when I'm working a lot, I can't be on here as much because I just don't have the energy to just come on and do a video and make a video, because the video itself is at least 30 minutes when I talk, because you know, I can't stop talking, right? I've got that gift. I have Mercury and Gemini, and I have the gift of gab. So when I'm present, I'm going to give you everything I got because that's who I am. But yeah, Gemini, Mercury and Gemini makes me a talker. So it's very hard for me to come on here and do a 5-minute video because I've always got a lot of information to share with you. So aside from making the video, then I have to, put it on YouTube and make the cards up and write the whole thing. And so by the time I'm done, it could be like a 2 or 3 hour tour just for one video. So I have to find the time to squeeze that in. But I'm always here. I'm always around. If you have a question, drop a comment. If there's something you want me to make a video on, please make that video. We are gonna have the raffle. It looks like the desired giveaway is going to be a session with me. I guess that's a good giveaway, right? A session is valued at $222, so why not? That's a good giveaway, yes. So I will set that up, and as soon as we're ready with that, then we'll get that giveaway going, and you guys can participate in that. And I'm excited to see who wins it, because I look forward to connecting with any of you and all of you always, right? So let me say again that I love you so, so very much. I enjoy our time together. I know that we're coming into the 4th of July. Please be safe. If you're around fireworks, have a wonderful whatever it is that you're doing, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. I love you. Take care. Bye-bye.